Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hashing It Out. I'm Jordan Mack. I'm a senior software engineer here at the Nervos Foundation. And today it is my privilege to be able to welcome Hongzhou Chen, who's the research lead at the CKB Eco Foundation. How you doing today?
Yeah, hi, Jordan. I'm so sorry. Sorry for the late. Yeah, how are you today?
Yeah, that's okay. That happens every once in a while. Let's just go ahead and get started, though. So today we're going to be talking about news and updates. We got a lot of them from the CKB Eco Fund that we're going to be going through today. But of course, before I do that, this is a live stream, so I have to mention the first three things that I always mention at the top of every stream. Number one, we're not going to be talking about the price today. There are plenty of places you can talk about the price, but this is not one of them. Number two, we're not going to be talking about any confidential information today. That's things like news exchanges or bridges or something that might be coming out. We can't talk about that today. So, anyway, if you ask those questions, we're just going to have to ignore those. And number three, all the opinions expressed on this program are of the individuals, not of the Nervos Foundation itself. We're broadcasting live on Twitter and on YouTube. We can only really see you in the chat room on YouTube, but we're going to try to do our best to monitor Twitter today. We usually don't even watch it at all. We're going to try to, but no promises there. We might not see you unless you're on YouTube. We encourage anybody who's watching today to please go ahead, throw your questions out in the YouTube chat room at any point in time, and we'll do our best to answer them. So without any further ado, we're just going to go right into it. So Hongzhou, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, the first thing, I want to apologize for my late. Yeah, because due to a long meeting, as I talking with Jordan in the chat box, and because we are talking about maybe for our audience, we can also say that in a very near future, our utility stack, which will provide the liquidity staking for the Lightning Network, will launch its mainnet. Yes, it's very soon, and we will do many campaigns. And after that, the participants can obtain the airdrop of the token. So you can look forward to these things.
Yes, yes. So definitely that was some important stuff you were working on, but we're appreciative that you could join us today. We understand you're very busy with all that UTXO stuff. It's so getting so close to actually being launched. So we should probably start with some of the things that went on in 2024, and then later on we'll talk about what to look forward to in 2025. So I know that there's a lot of data out there about usage and stuff. Did you have something you wanted to share with us today?
Yes, of course. I think that for our this year, the 2024, not only our ecosystem but also our CKB, the mainnet, have a bigger growth. Yeah, and related to the 2024, firstly, I want to share some data about our CKB. In this year, we have the growth of our unique address from 2.96 million to 5.43 million. They have about 183% up. Yeah, and for about our hash rate, because we are a POW chain, because we think that the POW is the best, and our hash rate grows from 163.74 PHS to 442.48 PHS. And also, we have the Nervos DAO. In this infrastructure, the users can stake their CKB. The total CKB staked in the Nervos DAO from the 48.83 thousand to 66.53 thousand, about 113% up. And the total holder of our CKB also have a big growth from 276,000 to 419,000. And the holders, who holding our CKB more than 3 years, because we think that when one holding our token for many years, for more than 3 years, they are the real fan of our project. These guys from the 24.21% to 46.72%. Yeah, you see about half of our holders, they hold our token for more than 3 years. This is amazing. Yeah, so from this data, you will see that the comprehensive dimensions of our CKB have a big growth. And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's no, just interrupt for a moment. That's absolutely huge growth. I mean, like when you're talking about unique addresses up 183%, and the accrued depositors up 113%, total holders 151. Those are all 3-digit numbers. Those are large increases. And then, as you were saying, the holders greater than 3 years at nearly 50%. That's unbelievable to have that high of a number. That's a huge growth number for holders.
yes. You can see that almost all data, they have about one-time growth. And I think behind this data, because we have many achievements, the development, the progress of our CKB in this year. Let me introduce them to you. In the beginning of this year, we launched the BTCKB campaign and established the sales studio in the first month of this year. Because because I think that if you look at our white paper of CKB, you will find that at the beginning, CKB is based on the design principle of Bitcoin, and we want to enhance the Bitcoin ecosystem. Yeah, and after this year's development, in this year, we launched this initiatives and developed some tool and proposed the RGB++ protocol to give the best solution of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Yeah, and then in April, we list our CKB on many top exchanges such as Upbit, ZKE, Coinbase, BitGet, and CoinStore, etc. Why we wanted to list our token on more and more exchanges? Because we know that for some region of our for some of our users, they may be in some regions that they have the KYC or policy issues. So we will give them more channel for our users so that they can access our token. And in this year, we also established the partnership.
Okay, wait, let me stop you for one moment there. But I just want to make sure that was what was it? 8 exchanges? Did I count that right? 8 different exchanges that was listed on this year.
Yes. Right now, you can find our token, our CKB, in about I think more than 30 exchanges. Yeah, and in this year, we list on some exchanges I just mentioned this year. Yes.
Right. Yeah. That's also a very big increase in the number of exchanges. I mean, if we were at 30 total and 8 of them were added this year, that's another biggest. Do you know if BTCKB did that initiative help at all with that, or is that completely disconnected from the exchange listings?
Related to our BTCKB, this is a big initiative. Yeah, not only including the listing on exchange, but also including such as the protocol I mentioned, the RGB++. And based on that, we will develop many DAmp infrastructure tools to engage more and more users in the big Bitcoin ecosystem. Yes.
I see. So that just so I'm understanding that correctly, is that so that's part of the reason why we were also added to all these exchanges? Is that because a part of the Bitcoin initiative?
Yes, I think this is one part behind this initiative, and one reason why we want to list on more exchanges I mentioned, such as for I know some of our users they in such as the American they have the strong regulation, so we wanted to list our tokens such as more exchanges that our user can access our token. Yes.
Okay, and so we have one question here that was relevant. So Omar asks here, any U.S. exchanges listed in listings planned in the future?
Yes. Right now we are trying to pitch Coinbase and Balance US, but these two exchanges are ongoing. Yes, and I think that right now for our American users, they can access our token in crypto.com.
Okay, but I have to, just as a disclaimer there, I have to say that we don't actually know if any of these exchanges will list us. That just because there's an effort going on to try to get onto exchanges, we don't know that. Like, I've never been told. I have never been told, I'm being completely honest, when we're being added to exchange. So I can't tell you anything. So if you ask, when are you going to be on this? Don't know. You got to ask the exchange yourself, and that's confidential information. Nobody's going to actually tell you. But it doesn't mean that we're not trying. Of course, we're trying to get onto every exchange, right? That's the goal. The more exchanges you can be on, the better. So here, let's go ahead and keep moving on. Next, you were talking about partnerships.
Yes, partnerships. Yeah, because we know that only based on our CKB or based on our foundation and the Eco Fund and our ecosystem projects, they cannot fulfill our users' requirement. Yes, right. So in this year, we established the border partnership, such as with April and Game Build, Double Hub, Undefined Lamp. For the Undefined Lamp, which is based on Korea, they help us to access the Korea community users. And we also have the partnership with Alchemy Pay, which allow users to buy CKB with fiat currency. And we also have the partnership with OneKey, which provide the CKB hardware wallets. Yes, this are the big partnership we established in this year, and behind them, we also established many partnership with multiple communities to enhance our CKB ecosystem. Yeah. Behind the partnership, we also launched many user-friendly tools, not only for users but also for developers, such as the CCC, which is a wallet connection library. For this part, based on the CCC, such as OKX wallet and MyDoge wallet, they are very easy to integrate with our CKB and our RGB++ protocol. Yeah, and we also launched a new user-friendly staking tool, Nervos. If you try it, you find that previously, when you want to stake a CKB into our Nervos DAO, it's very hard. But right now, you can just click, maybe in 2 or 3 steps, you can stake your CKB here. Moreover, based on the Nervos DAO, we have the iCKB, which is a liquid staking token, which means you can stake your CKB here and obtain the iCKB. And in the future, this iCKB can use in many DeFi and our Lightning transactions. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So here, let me break that down a little bit for the audience here. So CCC is an important developer library that makes things a lot easier for developers to incorporate different wallets from different chains. So it takes all of the Nervos wallets and I guess a couple of the Bitcoin wallets, and it combines them into a single library so that when a developer comes into our ecosystem, they only have to do this one time and they get all of these wallets all at once. So it's a big step. Like, we've talked about this many times in the past on Hashing It Out, about how we're taking steps to try to make it easier for developers, and this was a big one. And then NervDAO is the other side of that. That's to make it easier for our users, with all of the support of these new wallets that are coming in, to use the DAO properly. And yeah, I've looked at the site. It looks great. I'm really glad to see iCKB on there. We've talked about that on the show many times as well. So here, thank you. Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
No worry, and very, very thank you for your explanation. Yes. Yeah, and I have a little thing to add here. Based on the CC and based on our CKB's account abstraction, which means the users can just use the native wallet in other UTXO ecosystems. For example, the Bitcoin wallet, Wise, right now, you can use the WISE and directly see our RGB++ assets under the Bitcoin mainnet. Yes, and you can directly use the WISE wallet and your Bitcoin address to control, to interact with our CKB's infrastructure and ecosystem projects. Yeah. Okay. And then behind this development, we also collaborated on community events such as holding trading contest, creation contest, and content co-learning events with partners like Binance, Metric Port, Mason Finance, and Alchemy Pay. Yeah. Because of our development in this year, we received recognitions from famous institutions, such as including the global top blockchain research institution, Masari. Right now they published two in-depth report about our CKB, introduce our advantages to the industry. And the balanced research, they also mentioned our CKB and our RGB++ protocol in one of their report. They think that our RGB++ protocol might be one of the most advanced protocol in the Bitcoin native ecosystems. Yeah, and let me have a say.
Yeah. Masari is very, very well respected in our industry as an information source. So, yeah, anytime that we can get in there and actually make a good impression about that, that's very positive. Yeah, I'm glad that we got some news in there. And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they get something wrong earlier this year about an unlock? There was some news circulating, I remember, on Twitter about there being a big Nervos coin unlock that was about to occur, and it was completely wrong. Do you happen to know where that started?
Yes, it's wrong. Yes, it's wrong information. Because I think that for some institutions, you will see that they in industrial, most institutions, they focus on the EVM community, right? And they are not familiar with our Reutic, so especially not very familiar with our CKB. So they think that our token lock and unlock, think our Nervos style just as the unlock mechanisms. Yeah, and for these mistakes, we contact them and tell them the right information. I think some of the institutions, they have corrected their data and corrected the news. Yes.
Okay, very good. Here, before we move on, let's address, we had one other question here. Is Nervos quantum resistant blockchain, and who are the competitor chains? I mean, I believe the answer to that is yes. We've stated that many times, that we have the ability to adopt any encryption, including those that are quantum resistant. Anything to add to that, Hongzhou?
Yeah, for this part, firstly, I needed to say I am not experts in this area. Yeah, but I know that for our CKB, if you look at our white paper and look at some of the articles we published maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you will find that at the beginning of our CKB, our designers such as Jian Xie, Cypher, and some other guys, they have considered the quantum resistance. Yeah, because and based on our RISC design and our CKEVM, our CKB will not have this issue in this part. Yeah, for users, you can take easy. We do not have this issue, and maybe I think that today we are maybe not the best one, but I can see we are the top public chains for this issue. We do not have this issue. Yeah.
Right. And then for competitor chains, I mean, I I mean, this depends on how you look at it, but I guess you could say that every chain is a competitor in this regard. Everybody needs to be quantum resistant at some point in the future. But I don't think that there's any other chain that at this point that can adopt any encryption like we can without a hard fork. So there's a distinct advantage that Nervos has over the competition in this regard. Everybody, I think it's fair to say that every chain can adopt quantum resistant signatures, but it's how quick can they actually do that if there's actually a problem. And so most chains out there will require a hard fork, which can be a very arduous task to actually perform, can be very slow. There can be conflict, it can divide the community at times, whereas Nervos, not a problem. Any developer can implement any encryption whenever they want to, and we already have quantum resistance locks that have been tested. It's not an issue on our platform. We're not worried about it.
Yes. For this question, I think because you can see that many chains did not consider this part, but for our CKB, we have this design. Moreover, I think that for this issue, this will be a challenge for the whole blockchain industry. But for this part, such as our CKB, for our design, we are open source. So other chains, maybe in the future, they can adopt our design or maybe some of our codes in the future. So I think for this part, the whole blockchain industry should together to consider to solve this issue in the future. Yes.
Yes. Hopefully nobody will suffer in this regard and everybody will get updated. I agree. Okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt with that. Let's go ahead and keep going down the list.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on. And above, I just mentioned our partnership and recognition in the industrial, and we also be recognized by some institutions that focus on the social good, and our CKB in the middle of this year joined the Blockchain for Good Alliance, which is an alliance that together to consider how to, based on the blockchain, to contribute for a more sustainable society and future. Yes. And there also have another big things for our CKB this year. We had made the second hard fork in October. The Maple test net right now is online. Yeah, and all the things above are about the online part. And for our CKB this year, we also established many offline meetups to border our influence, such as in the beginning of this year, we hosted 2 Bitcoin Singapore together with UTX Management and Bitcoin Magazine. These 2 conferences, one in March and one in September. We also exclusively sponsored the Bitcoin Spring Hacker House by rebased from March to April. And in April, we also participated in the Hong Kong Web3 Festival, co-built the Hong Kong Blockchain Festival Bitcoin Summits. And in Dubai, we joined the Token 2049 and hosted the Blockchain POW Night. And in May, our CKB attended the Bitcoin Asia and hosted the RGB Plus meetup, co-hosted the BTC Summer in Hong Kong, sponsored the Hong Kong Bitcoin DevCon Hackathon, and Vietnam Rust Hackathon. And we also hosted many events with our with other blockchains such as Ergo, and maybe in the future we will try to host the events with Cardano and other UTX chains. And in June, CKB attended the GM Vietnam, and in this event, we onboarded one team. Right now, maybe some of users are familiar with them, the UTX Global. For this team, they are very nice, and they built our UTX global wallet, our CKB's Telegram wallet, and right now they are focused on to develop the infrastructure for our RGB++ integration with the Dogecoin. Yeah, and I think that the development will finish in 1 or 2 months. Yeah, and after that, you will see our CKB can integrate directly with the Dogecoin. And in July, CKB attended the Bitcoin 2024 hosted the US meetup. I think maybe this is the first time our CKB our CKB hosted events in American, and during this event, we see some of our committee members to come and to contact in person. In August, CKB attended ABS Taipei and hosted the Scaling Bitcoin Ecosystem and the Bitcoin Community Mixer Singapore 2. And in September, CKB attended the Token 2049 Korea Blockchain Week and hosted the Blockchain Community Assembly. And in October, CKB attended the Binance Blockchain Week. And in November, CKB hosted the CK Week and CKCon in Chiang Mai and attended the DevCon in Bangkok. And in this month, CKB attended the Binance Mina. Yeah, I just come back from Mina back to the China. So you see that in this year, we attended many conference. I think this conference, I see a trend that initially people just want to see how to issue assets on the Bitcoin, but right now we see more and more people consider how to based on the Bitcoin, how to based on the POW and the UTXO to do more interesting and to do more meaningful things. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, that is a tremendous amount of events that you actually just shared there. I don't think that most of the audience in the English speaking half of the world really realizes how much has actually been done in terms of events, because it's always on the other side of the world, and we can't easily attend it, so it doesn't really get out there. But there's a huge amount that is going on, and only a couple of those were actually in the United States. Most of it has actually been in the Asia region, and also that's fantastic that we did that. We co-hosted Ergo Hack with Ergo, and that we're reaching out to other chains. The UTXO Alliance, I think, is a very strong thing, especially with these chains that we're working more and more closely with. There's a lot of potential for all these different dApps out there to go cross chain. So the more that we participate with them, the more likely we are to actually collaborate in that regard. Here, before we move on, we have another couple questions that came up. I heard RGB++ will work with Dogecoin, or is that just a rumor?
No, it's true. Yeah, I can actually tell you it's true. Not only from our side, just I mentioned the UTX Global and our Eco Fund development team. Right now they are developing the infrastructure for the integration, and I think that in the Sunday of the last week, we successfully connect with some guys from the Dogecoin's core developers, and they agree that to integrate with our RGB++ when we finished our development of these infrastructures. I think you will see the news in maybe the 6th month of the next year. Yeah, because they are really need some developments. Yeah.
Okay. So
it's true.
Yeah, that's very exciting to hear. I mean, I know that we consider ourselves to be a Bitcoin layer 2. Are we now a Dogecoin layer 2 as well?
Yeah, right now, there have some teams they want to establish a layer 2 for the Dogecoin, but according to my learn, they want to adjust some like the OP code on the Dogecoin. So for their communities, some of them have the concern, just as the adjustment of the Bitcoin mainnet based on the OP code. And also there have some guys that they wanted to do the layer 2 based on a centralized bridge, no matter based on rollup or ZK or something like that. But for our solution, we based on the RGB++, you know, that there do not need to the adjustment of the mainnet, do not need a bridge. So they also have, so some of the Doge communities, they appreciate this solution. No matter how, I think that for the Doge community, we can give them another, maybe a better choice for their layer 2s. Yeah, and based on our solution, we wanted to enhance the Doge, not only a coin, but not only a meme coin, but a meme chain, because you know that the Doge is a big meme, and if the Doge chain has the programmability, we can based on it to issue the meme assets, not only on the Doge, but also on the whole UTXO ecosystems. Yeah.
Okay, and let's see. Let's get on to. There's one more question that came in. Is the USDT rumor true? I'm not too familiar with that rumor. What is the rumor?
I think the rumor is maybe in the last week, the Joe ID posted a picture and say that in the near future, there have some tokens that will be supported on our Fiber network, including that you will see the IUSD, CL, CKB, USDI, and behind that there have a USDT. Indeed, because I'm not in charge of this part, so I do not know the details. But I know that for our team, we try our best to pitch more and more stablecoin to join our Fiber network. Yeah, maybe this is true. Maybe this is a rumor. I'm not very sure, but I'm sure in the next year you will see more stablecoin launched on our Fiber network. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fantastic news. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going down the list, and we have a couple more questions. We'll get to those in just a couple minutes.
Should I continue?
Yes, yeah. Where were you on the list?
Okay. Yeah, there have many other things I want to introduce to our community. Yeah, above I just mentioned what we have done in the past year of our CKB, and I will also briefly introduce what we have achieved of our RGB++. Firstly, about the technical part, we released the new BTC assets issuance protocol RGB++ in February and officially launched in April. Our RGB++ fans community established, and in May, the decentralized community governance protocol Metaforo also support our RGB++, and in June, Get Word3 wallets fully support our RGB++ assets. And in July, the RGB++ was upgraded to RGB++ layer, which means it can not only benefit the Bitcoin mainnet, but also benefit all the UTX chains which do not have the programmability. Yeah, and in August, our RGB++ Explorer was officially launched, and right now we are trying to upgrade the Exponer. Maybe in the next week you will see the new edition. The new edition on it, you can search more detailed data and to see the holder and other data. It's very user friendly. We also have many partnerships with the RGB++, such as right now the element fully integrate with our RGB++, and you can trade in our RGB++ assets here. And game build, they develops the SDKs that support our RGB++ protocol. Yeah, and based on
so I'm sorry. Let me throw in one question on this topic here, because it's right on topic with that. Is RGB++, can it make any UTXO a BTC layer 2? How does this benefit CKB?
Yeah, for this part, firstly, I want to say that RGB++ are not make any UTXO Bitcoin layer 2. You should say that you can say that based on RGB++, we are based on our CKB mainnet to provide the programmability for the Bitcoin or Doge or other UTXO chains. Moreover, based on the RGB++, you can map your assets, such as your assets UTXO on Bitcoin, and map the UTXO with our CBC UTXO. After that, you can change the mapping relation, such as mapping the Bitcoin's UTXO to Doge's UTXO. In this way, your assets can so-called cross-chain, and they do not have a bridge. Yeah. So in this way, we can provide the interoperability for the whole UTXO ecosystems. And during this processes, how it can benefit our CKB, I think the first one, because when you do all this transactions, the underlying, such as the smart contract or other things, they are based on our CKB. So there we will provide this processes will provide the gas fee, yeah, for our CKB. And moreover, when more assets are issued based on the RGB++, no matter it's on Bitcoin or Doge, they need to occupy our CKB. Yeah, because our CKB was UTXO model, and we have for each assets there maybe need 500 CKB. In this way, we call it the native staking, which means when there are more assets issued based on RGB++, more CKB will be occupied. And in this way, the price or the attention or other things, they will benefit back to our CKB mainnet. I hope I answered.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's really mutually beneficial. We are providing smart contract functionality to UTXO chains like Bitcoin, things that they can't really do. And then that interoperability, they gain a tremendous amount of power through that. They can finally do a lot more things with their chain. And then we get the usage. We get, of course, the state rent gets paid, the occupation of CKB increases demand, all these great things, which keep a circular process. It's really kind of like a feedback loop that increases security and pushes up demand at the same time. It's really, that's exactly what we want. That's what this chain is about. It's about the usage. It's about this interoperability, and it's really this is a perfect example of how that's actually being implemented in an area where there is already strong and growing demand.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, let's continue to move forward. Unfortunately, we're already starting to get low on time. So go ahead. You wanted to go through the eco projects?
Yes, I will quickly go through our eco projects. And based on our RGB++, in this year, we launched many eco projects, such as the UTXO stack, which will provide the liquidity staking for the Lightning Network and the liquidity management. Right now we have the JoID, which is a Pasking wallet. Will support the Bitcoin Lightning Network and our Fiber network. For the wallets, right now we also have the UTXO Global, and I think that maybe in the near future, maybe 1 month, you will see one of the best one and wallet right now in the Bitcoin ecosystem will support our RGB++. Yeah. And right now we have the Nervos for the staking. We have the UTXO Swamp, which is a UTXO-based decentralized exchange. We also have Omega, HuHub, and DopeHub for our coin and NFT issuance. Yeah, and we also have the Stable Plus Plus and IPN. The first one provides the RUSD, which is a decentralized stablecoin similar to DAI, and the second one provides USDI, which is a stablecoin similar to USDT. Yes. Both stablecoin will be supported by our fiber network, and this is the biggest advantage of our programmable network, which means it's not only supports the Bitcoin, but also supports stablecoin and other RGB++ assets such as NFT. Besides them, we also have DID, which is a decentralized identity system. We have the Morbid for you to manage your assets. We have SAIL. SAIL is the first RGB++ meme coin, and will be supported by the fiber network. So I think the SAIL will be the first meme coin on the Lightning Network. And for the DOPS and GameFi, right now we have Nervos. I think our community are very familiar with them. And for Nervos, they do their offline sailing in Chiang Mai. It's very, very successful, and during this event, they provide the CKB Discord, which means you can use your CKB to buy their items and have the Discord. And this event in the next year, they will do these things based on our fiber network and stablecoin. Besides the Nervos, we have Word3, which have the cooperation with Microsoft to see how to integrate with the blockchain and AI in the Bitcoin ecosystem. We have Soluna. These are two right now the two GameFi in our ecosystem. We also have the CCBTC, which is one-on-one Bitcoin banked ramped Bitcoin issued on our CKB. We also have Bull and Mason Finance to provide the bridge, such as for Bull. Right now you can bridge your Ethereum, and in the future you can bridge your Solana Tong assets to our CKB. This is a brief introduction and review about our eco projects established in this year.
Yeah, that's quite a large list again, and I think it's important to point out exactly what he was going through is all the different types of use cases. It's DeFi, it's also NFTs, it's games, it's all of these types of things. It's some of this is infrastructure, some of this is like the lowest layer stuff, and then some of it is the assets themselves, like Seal and Nervos, very popular in our ecosystem. Some of these games are building on top of the existing protocols, and a lot of these are all RGB++ compatible, which means that this was all new stuff that had to be built. Am I getting that correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so there was nothing that they could have just copy and pasted. In other words, this was all brand new that had to be built. So it's a tremendous effort, and a lot of progress was made this year. Let's see. I saw you mentioned fiber in there. I want to post one more question here. Let's see. Also, is fiber still scheduled for release this year?
Yes, this is true, and just as the previous question, it's not a rumor. Yeah. And why I later for our meeting, because before this meeting, I need to join a call and discussion about the launch of our fiber network, the launch of our UTXO stack, and the campaign and the airdrop. Yeah, so I think right now they have finished the third-party review of the fiber network smart contract, and when everything finished, I'm sure you will see the fiber launch in maybe a little later. Not only I mean maybe in the first or second week in the first month of the next year. But I hope everything goes well. You will see the fiber launch before the end of this year. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, and so we had the test net was September, right? So that was pretty recent. So making progress and actually launching it here late December, early January. That's quick. That's quick. So yeah. Anyway, that's fantastic that we're on track to make that launch.
Yes, I
Okay.
have a small point to add. Yes, maybe many users say that our fiber network launched very quick, because based on the news, they will say, okay, it seems that less than half year, the CKB guys do the fiber network, do the light network. But if you say the white paper of our CKB initially, maybe 4 to 5 years ago, our CKB designers, developers, they are considered the light network, and in the 4 years, they are continue research and do previously work on this part. That's why we can launch our testnet and our mainnet in a very quick speed. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I think that wraps up 2024. So let's get into 2025, and yeah, we're short on time. We can do another 10 to 20 minutes though. Go ahead. What would you like to cover?
Okay, yeah. For 2025, I think there are two parts that we can looking forward. The first one is based on RGB++. They have some potential corporations, such as I mentioned with the Dogecoin and other UTX chains. And in this way, we want to make RGB++ the optimal solution for the whole Bitcoin, the whole UTXO ecosystems. And for the fiber network, yeah, I also mentioned previously, you will see the launch of the fiber network. You will see the launch of the stake, utility stake for the liquidity solution. And based on that, we also will try to do some interesting things, such as based on the fiber network and the stablecoin, we can do AI, the transactions and the payment behind the AI agents, and we maybe also can based on the fiber network to do some lightning based fully on-chain game, and also we can based on this to do to refresh many current Web3 the applications and the Web2 business scenarios. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, I mean that's a lot more stuff coming out in the very near future. That's exciting to hear. There might actually be some kind of a game coming out so quickly that's compatible with that. Uh, yeah, so go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt. Please continue.
Yes. Yeah, and I think for this part, the very quickly coming campaign of you take the stake, I think for our community users, we are very welcome for you to join this campaign, because right now, based on the rules, I know that maybe in the next month at the beginning of the campaign, for users, you can directly use your Joe ID to connect with the Bitcoin Light Network and our fiber network, and you can stake your BTC, CKB, and maybe other tokens into the pool to provide the liquidity for the channels. After that, you can obtain the rewards, the initially the rewards will be the token of UTXO stake. Yeah. So for this part, I think that they are not related to the financial return, but also contribute to the development of the network, development of the whole Bitcoin ecosystem. Because we know that the network launched in 2016, and in this years, it has the development, but not very big. So for our CKB guys, we want to in this way to engage more users' liquidities and attentions to the Lightning part.
Right. Yeah. So I'm sure there will be a lot of people interested in participating with that, being able to stake your Bitcoin and stake your CKB to actually earn potential rewards. What is the name of the token that's this token that you receive for staking?
You mean for users, they can stake which token in the pool? Or
Well, they stake Bitcoin or CKB, and then what token do they receive?
they will receive the token of UTXO stake.
Is it called UTXO? Is that the name of the token?
Or the stake.
Oh, it's called stake. It's called stake. Okay, so you receive stake token. Okay, all right. Okay.
Yes, and after this campaign, we will try to list the stake on multiple exchanges. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. That's going to be happening in this upcoming year.
Yeah, we will release the information as soon as possible. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. And then anything else, or are we at the end of the list at this point?
Yeah, I think I finished this part.
All right,
Thank you.
fantastic. Yeah, that was a tremendous amount of updates that you gave us. Yeah, thank you for taking the time to put all that together. I think this is probably one of the largest update lists that we've ever actually covered on this show. It was very comprehensive. And I think we managed to answer all of the questions during the stream, so we don't have any other ones at this time. So is there anything that you'd like to, any final thoughts that you have, Hongzhou, before we close up about everything that we've talked about today, before we wrap up?
Okay, for this part, I think that I want to say first, since right now we see the Bitcoin price go high and high, but right now maybe some guys think that they do not have the rise of the Bitcoin ecosystem, but personally I very confident about the growth of the Bitcoin ecosystem, because I believe I think that the Satoshi's initial vision, the P2P UTXO is the correct way for the Bitcoin industrial, because we cannot play everything on chain. We need to use the chain to do the verification and use the off-chain part to do the computation, right? So when we have this background and look at the Bitcoin native ecosystems for the upcoming competition, or maybe the second season, I think the competition is focused on which protocol can bestly solve the programmability and the interoperability issues for the Bitcoin. Therefore, I think our RGB++ is very promising. Yeah, especially we have the fiber network. Okay, no matter how, I think that in the 2025, there also will have maybe in the end of the next year, I can also join this meeting and give another very long list about our achievement. Yes.
Yes, please do.
If Bitcoin, long live CKB, long live freedom, long live decentralization. Yeah.
Yes, well said. Yes, absolutely. Bitcoin is taking over the entire world right now. We had all 3 presidential campaigns in the United States recently supporting cryptocurrency. It's done remarkably well. We're at over $100,000 on Bitcoin. This is a very good time to be a Bitcoin layer 2. There's not really a better place that you could be, and we're building some really great infrastructure at this point. We just went through a list of, I don't know, I lost count a long time ago how many updates there were. Lots of stuff going on. So anyway, we are out of time today, but Hongzhou, thank you so much for taking the time again, for joining us today. And I also want to thank the audience for sticking with us this entire time through this gigantic list of updates. We really value a lot of our community because it is the beating heartbeat of this project. So thank you all for being here. Make sure that you all check out the show notes. There's a bunch of links that were put in there about all of the socials that you should be following, and all links to many of the things that we actually went through today. So again, thank you all, and take care. Thank you for being here, Hongzhou, and we'll talk to you all later.
Thank you for including me. Have a good day. Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you.